I think the reason I stepped down from playing, one was age. I'm 42, but physically I was absolutely fine. The biggest thing for me was I had to find a new career and something was going to take me right up until I'm kind of done. Obviously, you can only play, even though physically I was fine now, at this age, you're not that far away from just completely breaking down and being at your best and whatnot. And I just felt it was the time to kind of get into my, I suppose, the new chapter. And then, with that, Huey at the time was playing and coaching with the Dogs, and just said, why don't you play here? And I just thought, yeah, why not? It was the kind of perfect transition, I guess. So I kind of went from just completely retiring to focusing on work, to obviously focusing on work, which is my main thing, but being able to still play. And I think that the big attraction for me with that was just being able to help out some of the young guys. And because I do feel that the young guys haven't got a whole lot of guidance at the moment in general. And I just thought this is the perfect way to kind of help them out, just like how we were helped out by some of the older professionals when we were younger.
I guess it's like giving back in a way, isn't it? When sort of the height of your career, you move to the next bit and you're helping that next generation along.
Yeah, definitely. And, I think one thing we've always said is, like, when we first came through, you had to know the game. And I think, the professionals back then, they taught us the game. But I think the kind of the evolution of social media, anyone can kind of sit there and learn stick handling, shooting and things like that. And now it's all skills based. And I found that it's kind of spun a bit. So now, like, everyone is like really, really skilled, but their hockey IQ isn't quite where it needs to be. So it's just trying to balance that out a bit. Because, I mean, and honestly, like, the kids now are way more skilled than all of us have ever been. Like, some of the things that they can do, even like the young ones, like on my son's team, some of the things that they can do is crazy.
And why do you think that is? Do you think, like you mentioned there, do you think it is sort of the more accessibility of it, the social media and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I think so. And access to, all these people put videos on YouTube and things like that, and the kids watch them and practice their stick handling and shooting, and their shooting and stick handling now is insane. But maybe that's taken away from kind of learning the intricacies of the game and things, but and the X's and O's. But I suppose it is all about trying to read and react sometimes, and using that bit of common sense.
And what, in terms of sort of the day job, if you like, is it a teaching job, an assistant teaching? What is it exactly sort of you do? If you can sort of shed a bit more light.
Yeah, so I manage a inclusion centre up in a high school. So we deal with all the children with kind of SEN needs mainly. So a lot of trauma-based ADHD, that kind of thing. And I suppose the easiest way to put it is, I suppose it's our job to try and unpick the behaviours why they're struggling to stay in lesson. So we try and find strategies to help them self-regulate, just to be able to stay, within our lesson, and rather than truant around school.
Is that something you always wanted to do, or did it sort of find you when you was coming to looking at what to do next?
Yeah, no, it just kind of happened quite fast, to be honest. It was, a friend of ours who my kids play with his son. He's a CEO of a trust, and we just got talking, and I had an idea of what I could maybe bring to schools and things like that. And he just said, why don't you come and kind of volunteer? So I did. My last season with the Steelers, I used to do every Monday. And from there, I just thought, what, I think I'm going to apply for this job. And, lucky enough that I was able to get it. But it's kind of I see it very similar as being in the dressing room. Right? I think you meet so many characters throughout your time, and all so different. The only difference is kind of the age. So it was, we've seen all these characters before. I see a lot of myself in a lot of these kids. So it's actually been really fun, interesting, and it's been a good time, to be honest, so far.
I guess maybe it looks a bigger change than it is. So you mentioned there you've come across similar things before, and you're doing the mentoring, the coaching side of the ice hockey as well. It's all transferable, I guess.
Massively, and I think that was probably the hardest thing was just trying to see how you transfer the qualities and things that we've learned through hockey into the real world. And I suppose they're very, very similar. The only thing you can't do is speak to people how you would speak to them within the dressing room. So that's taken some adjustment.